welcome everyone back to the WWC podcast, the long-awaited return. 14 days, 2 weeks. We have the Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania 37 reviews for you, both nights, night 1 and night 2 of both of those pay-per-views. And I just gotta say how freaking awesome it was and how excited I was for WrestleMania and Stand and Deliver, but mostly WrestleMania. Not taking anything away from Stand and Deliver, but just having the fans back is something that not that I couldn't imagine it, but I'm just so happy that it's finally back and that we can finally hear the cheers and the chants and, you know, everything that comes with having fans in the stadium. The feeding off of the crowd is necessary when it comes to having tremendous matches the way that we want to see them. So I was just absolutely thrilled, and I'm ready to give you this review, and I hope you are too, because I'm about to get right into it. Don't forget to go check out the Monarch Thias Twitter page and the We Are the WWC Twitter page as well. Also the YouTube page. I'm going to be putting these up hopefully right after. I'm going to be starting to upload these after I upload them to Spotify and, you know, all that good jazz. Hopefully getting on iTunes soon as well for all you iTunes folks out there. So without further ado, let me get right into the review. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. To say I'm hype is a understatement. And also, to say I was hype for Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania is also an understatement. Anybody that's following me on Twitter right now knows how excited I was for this pay-per-view. Both of these pay-per-views, but especially WrestleMania 37. Having the fans back was something else. It is so nice to hear fans, to see fans cheering, the chants, everything is great. It felt so good hearing that. Everything felt right again. Everything felt normal again. I know it's going to take a while for Raw and SmackDown to get there, but that was just great. Little side note off of WWE, AEW shows are about to be full of people too. So it's just going to be awesome. I cannot wait. But the main subject here today is NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania 37. These pay-per-views were unbelievable. Both nights. I will let you know which night I thought was better for each and which pay-per-view in general I thought was good. I hope that didn't show up. That was loud. Oh well. So, just to kick it off real quick, I didn't get to see the pre-shows for any of these. I actually watched night 1, I think it was 2 nights ago, and or night 1 for Stand and Deliver, I should say, 2 nights ago, and I didn't get a chance to watch the MSK Grizzled Young Veterans match because something came up during that, and I had people in my Discord watching it as well, and I didn't want to pause it, so I just let that play. That's the only match I'm not going to have a good read on personally, so I will just let you know how that went. I mean, you can. I'm gonna just read off I'm just gonna be honest here. I'm just gonna read off the review, not the whole thing, but just how the match went. I know the match was good, but I didn't get to watch it yet. So, without rambling on too much more, we had Zoe Stark defeating Toni Storm on the pre-show, which, like I said, I did not watch. But it's weird. Toni Storm goes from being main event going against Io Shirai for the title too, pre-show. A little weird there. I know pre-show doesn't matter very much anymore because we've been having some good pre-show matches, but nonetheless. First match on night one of Stand and Deliver was Pete Dunne versus Kushida, and this was a good match. Slow, not slow to a fault, but the usual Pete Dunne taking advantage, joint manipulation. The usual Pete Dunne did beat Kushida in that match. Like I said, good match. I enjoyed that. By the way, for all four of these nights, Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania, I had friends watch that don't normally watch wrestling or have never watched wrestling in their life. And I will tell you that they enjoyed all of this. They enjoyed NXT and WrestleMania. And that goes to show you how wrestling's changed, because it's always a thing where you ask, just curiosity. I always ask, well, why did you never like get into wrestling, or what did you ever think about it? And they always just thought it was very cringe or hokey, lack of a better word. And they watched this and realized that it's not so much that as much as it's an athletic endeavor. It has scripted storyline, yes, but these matches are not fake. These guys beat the hell out of each other. No, they don't punch each other in the face, trying to knock each other out. This isn't MMA, but you know, it's nice to see. And I've gotten many friends into wrestling, and helped them realize that it's not so much a cringe. It sometimes is. It is. It is not. What's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word, but there is very much cringe in wrestling. There is a few cringe moments that happen during these nights, but I can only think of one of them off the top of my head, which we will be talking about here shortly. But it's nice to see my friends or people that normally aren't fans of wrestling get into it and realize that it is cool. It is a interesting sport, and yeah, anybody can get into it. It's fun. So, just to recap, Pete Dunne defeats Kushida. Good match. Bronson Reed wins the Gauntlet Eliminator for the NXT North American title opportunity, which is on night 2, to face Johnny Gargano. And this was Leon Ruff, Isaiah Swerve Scott, LA Knight, and Dexter Lumis. We had those guys fighting all each other, fighting all each other in the middle of the ring. I don't know why I said it like that, but there were a few moments of this match that I really enjoyed. There was one where it was LA Knight, Isaiah Swerve Scott, and Bronson Reed basically having a triple threat match in the ring, and it was tremendous. It was some of the best triple threat work I've seen. I'm not a fan of multi-man matches. More than 2 guys. 3 is kind of awkward. 4 I can get with, because you can have 2 guys fighting each other off on the side of the ring. But 3, there always feels like there's a guy that's left out. And this was awesome. I enjoyed the hell out of this. But Bronson Reed won in a very, very nice fashion, looking very strong. Next, we had the match of the weekend, in my opinion. NXT UK champion Walter, the Ring General Walter, and he defeats Tommaso Ciampa in a 6-star brawl. These guys went ape shit on each other. If you've ever seen the Ilya Dragunov match, Ilya Dragunov and Walter match, you will understand how Walter can just absolutely destroy his opponents. But in Ilya Dragunov's defense, he withstood and he gave it right back. Same with Tommaso Ciampa. He went crazy, and this was even crazier than the Ilya Dragunov fight, honestly. I highly suggest going to watch this. I highly suggest going to watch Ilya Dragunov versus Walter. I think I've said this before, but go watch that. There's also a video on WWE's YouTube where they have superstars review the match as they're watching it. Shawn Michaels, several others. Super interesting, super cool how they talk about it. This match was outstanding. Then we've got the triple threat tag team match for the vacant NXT Tag Team Championship. I remember predicting that MSK would win this, and they did. Seeing as Danny Burch gets injured, and they have to drop the titles, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, I thought they were going with MSK to begin with. They were going to have a match with them, and MSK was going to win the titles anyway. So this was perfect to get them to win and start their reign off strong. But like I said, this was, let me see here. I will check this out so I can give you guys an idea on how this match was. So yeah, this must have been why this was a good match. It says there was a lot of back and forth, high speed, just crazy free for all. The type of NXT match that you'd think out of all these guys they should put on, I guess, went on. I'm gonna have to watch this afterwards. I know I'm terrible wrestling fan podcaster / person right now, but that's the only match on the entire weekend I missed. So we have Raquel Gonzalez versus Io Shirai, and what I absolutely loved, Raquel Gonzalez winning the NXT Women's Championship, very deserved. I'm guessing this is Io Shirai's, which I've said this before, Io Shirai's call to the main roster. I would love to see her face Bianca Belair or Rhea Ripley, many others in the women's division. That would be great. But Raquel Gonzalez gets her due. She basically, I could see her becoming the face of NXT. She is not only very beautiful, but she is an absolute monster. She can take out anybody that comes in her way. Like, we're going to have somebody serious to take out Raquel Gonzalez. That seems to be the case a lot now. We've got Roman Reigns, who is a very strong champion. Walter, very strong champion. Kaylee Ray, very strong champion. Finn Balor was a very strong champion. He did, which we will be getting to this here soon. Don't want to spoil. Did a little bit of spoiling there, but yeah, there's a lot of very strong, long-reigned champions in WWE. Modern era reigns. Remember that. They can't touch Hulk Hogan or, for that matter, for Bruno Sammartino. 8 years. It's kind of hard to beat. But so that was the main event. Raquel Gonzalez defeating Io Shirai, and what I loved this match. Just knowing that I knew this was going to be her time. You could just tell by the way they were looking at each other in the stare down. Just the way this match went, you could tell this was Raquel Gonzalez's time. She was going to overcome and not necessarily overcome, but plant her foot down and become the NXT Women's Champion, which she did. So that is the end of night 1 of NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. Next, we have night 2. What do you know? Killian Dane and Drake Maverick defeat Breezango for an NXT Tag Team title opportunity. I did not watch this, just like the Toni Storm Zoe Stark match, but I may just go and watch this match as well. Killian Dane and Drake Maverick are hilarious. I have always liked Breezango as well. People hate on him. I don't care. They're both tremendous wrestlers. The only thing this is a cringe. Both of these tag teams people can define as cringe, but I think they're hilarious. So, Killian Dane and Drake Maverick defeat Breezango, giving them the NXT title opportunity, which I am happy about. I am ready to see them face MSK. That'll be an entertaining match, to say the least. Now, this match was outstanding. Santos Escobar versus Jordan Devlin. Cruiserweight champion versus Cruiserweight champion in a ladder match. Throwback to Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels for the IC title. And it was perfect that Shawn Michaels comes out to basically tell them, like, there's only one way to do this, boys. And he pushes the ladder in the ring. They look at each other, and it's time. It's a ladder match. That's what it is. This was a great match. I can't say enough. I loved this match a lot. There was a point where Legado del Fantasma comes out to help Santos Escobar. They get thrown out. Perfect, making it a true one-on-one. And Santos Escobar does end up winning at the end of the day. Good match, though. I'm glad to see Jordan Devlin back. Pretty sure there were allegations against him, but I didn't see anything after that, so I'm not sure if those were true. Not worried about it. If it comes up, I don't like him. Who cares? So, we've got the NXT Tag Team Champions, Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon defeating The Way. This was a good match. I enjoyed this a lot as well. It wasn't anything to call home about, but yeah, a good match. Love seeing Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon. I'm going to say this every day of the week. I love seeing them having the Tag Team championships. They deserve it so much. They both deserve so much. Ember Moon being one, she should have had a long reign with the NXT Women's Championship. And I think Shotzi Blackheart should have had a reign with it at this point. But yeah, good match. They retain. Next, we've got NXT North American Champion Johnny Gargano defeating Bronson Reed. Now, okay, this is something that I kind of feel weird about. So you have this big, they've got this big angle surrounding, excuse me. They have a big angle surrounding the NXT North American Championship. And then they have this big gauntlet eliminator match. Bronson Reed wins night 1 to push him to night 2, just to have him lose. I thought that was kind of weird. I thought they definitely could have put the title on him. He is worth having the title on at this point. I believe. That's just my opinion. I mean, maybe there's a reason they don't want him to, but yeah, my opinion. I think Bronson Reed definitely should have won this match. And I always say, like, logically or in real life, meaning, and it's kind of like there's some matches that you understand why the person won and why they're pushing that person, but you don't necessarily want them to win. This is one of those where I don't understand why they didn't put it on Bronson Reed, which I think I'm just reiterating that at this point, but you understand. Next, we have our co-main event, Karrion Kross versus the NXT champion Finn Balor. Karrion Kross beating Finn Balor. This goes back to what I was saying, how Finn Balor was a strong NXT champion. Karrion Kross regaining what was rightfully his. This is my words. He had to drop the title due to a shoulder injury or a pec injury, I believe. I can't remember, but he never technically lost the title. So he wins the title back that he never lost. And that's always a good good kind of warming feeling, even though it is carrying across crazy, batshit insane man. But yeah, I love seeing him with the title. Now we've got the main event: Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole in an unsanctioned match to basically put a cap on the Undisputed Era. All right, excuse me. I just had a coughing and sneezing fit after I said Undisputed Era. So this is putting a cap off, basically, or a cap on Undisputed Era. Kyle O'Reilly defeats Adam Cole in the unsanctioned match, which was pretty crazy. This was a match you expected to see between these guys. This almost also puts a cap on their entire feud in general, from Final Battle in ROH to Wrestle Kingdom in New Japan. Both insane matches and incredibly good. This being their not their third match. They've wrestled a lot more than that, but their third big match in front of, millions of people, you could say. So great match. I enjoyed this. I love Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole both. I've been fans of them for years at this point, since before, especially Adam Cole, since before he got to WWE. I didn't really know much about Kyle O'Reilly other than he was with Bobby Fish as Red Dragon in ROH and in the Indies in general. But yeah, I loved seeing this match go down the way it did. They absolutely tore the house down. They just went crazy. I definitely suggest watching this whole pay-per-view, honestly. This was a really good pay-per-view. If you don't have Peacock, you're kind of missing out on a lot. And I'm not just saying this for you to watch WWE or wrestling. You can watch so much that you don't even realize on Peacock, and you're also getting everything that WWE puts out along with it. So if you have Peacock, go check these matches out. This is NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver Night 1. You can also check out NXT on Tuesday nights now on USA Network. They just went from Wednesdays to Tuesdays, and in Chris Jericho's terms, they bullied them off of Wednesdays. So yeah, NXT now on Tuesdays. So NXT Stand and Deliver TakeOver Stand and Deliver Night 1, pretty good. I enjoyed it. Definitely one thing I could have said is I just would have enjoyed a crowd. Having a crowd there would be absolutely tremendous. I get that they're in the CWC, or that's what it's called. And they don't have room for very many fans. I don't know. They probably had like 100 people, maybe, sitting around the ring. So it's definitely, and I'm definitely anticipating and ready for large crowds for all these shows. So moving on from night 1, excuse me again, something's going on with the inside of my body right now. But moving on from night 1, we move on. Yes, I'm going to keep saying the same words over and over again. We move on from night 1 to move on to night 2. Move on. Where are we at here? Am I just not seeing where I am? Oh, no, I finished night 2. Ha! Let's see. My brain's all over the place. I just get out of that. My notes are all jumbled up here. Okay, WrestleMania 37. Okay, so before we get into WrestleMania 37, I got to do the regular ad break. You know what the deal is. Get through the ad. You make me some money, please, and thank you. All the support is greatly appreciated. And before I also get into it, check out the YouTube, the Twitter, both Monarch Matthias, both WWC podcast for the Twitter. Twitter handle is We Are the WWC. And you can just look up WWC podcast on YouTube. And main Twitter is Monarch Matthias. Got that mixed up. See? Been gone for 14 days and I'm messing stuff up, of course. So check those out. I'm going to be putting up this episode and the episode before, right after this, because I think I forgot, or maybe I forgot to put up 9 or 10, but we'll see. But yeah, those will be up on YouTube as well, so I will be keeping up with that. So before I get into WrestleMania, here is the break. Alrighty. So we've got night 1 of WrestleMania, which I'm just going to start off by saying this was one of the best pay-per-views I've ever watched because of a few things. 1, fans. There have not been fans at a big wrestling show like this in over a year. It's been something everybody just has been missing, and to have it actually happen and to return to somewhat of normalcy is just so refreshing. It's so nice. Just like I said, hearing the cheering, hearing the chants, hearing the background chatter. It's nice to be back. Let's just say that. So also the main event. One of those reasons the main event got switched, and this was a big deal. Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre were supposed to be the main event of night 1. And the first match was going to be Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair, which was kind of weird because first of all, it shouldn't be the first match, but it definitely deserves to be the main event. More talked about, there's more hype behind it, So, with the help of social media, they changed it. We got the main event to be Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair, which is absolutely crazy and tremendous to me. So, to start off this WrestleMania 37 review, night 1, Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre opened the show with a great match. And I should also add, before this, Vince McMahon came out and said a few he didn't say much. He just basically said, hey, we've got, I think he said something about the rain, because there's a 30-minute delay for a thunderstorm at the beginning of WrestleMania night 1. And he came out and he said, the show will go on. We're on a 30-minute delay. And he really basically came out to say, we missed you. We're definitely happy to see you guys. It was just an awesome moment to see Vince and all of the superstars on stage. America the Beautiful was sang. They all stood on stage. It was just a really good moment. But back to Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre. This was a good match. I was honestly really surprised at how good this match was. I don't think enough people are talking about how good the match was. These are two really big guys. Normally, when you got two really big guys in the ring like that, you don't have not a bad match, but you won't be having a 5-star technical wrestling match. By no means this was not that, but it was more than just a two big guy fight. You had some good technical wrestling in this. These guys have wrestled before in the past as well, and on big stages, so these guys are used to this. And it was nice to see them get back into the groove of things in front of the crowd. There was one moment where the crowd got dead, and I had a feeling this was going to happen a few times because, it's been a while since we've had anybody at a show, so people aren't really used to the usual. But the crowd was just dead silent. Bobby Lashley was on top, and he looks at the crowd, and he kind of raises his arms up and tells them to, like, yeah, I'm the man, like, kind of that type of thing. And that worked the crowd perfectly. They booed the hell out of him. And then in about 15 seconds after that, here comes Drew McIntyre's comeback. It was perfect. Bobby Lashley knew he was about to hit his comeback. He worked the crowd against himself. And then once Drew hit his comeback, it was hot. The crowd went crazy. It was something that I noticed right away, and I thought it was perfect. And it's great to see that they haven't lost any bit of chops with their with working the crowd, because that's a big deal. If there's no crowd, it's really hard to make a match. Props to them for doing it for over a year without a crowd. Yeah, they did have pumped in noise, but without a crowd, it's really, really hard to really make the match good, because you feed off the crowd and the crowd feeds off of you. It's like a concert. It's the same thing. So it was just great. I'm gonna try to stop mentioning how great it is to have fans back, but yeah, this was a good match. I enjoyed this a lot. Bobby Lashley retains, which this kind of goes back to what I was saying about Bronson Reed not making sense that he lost the match. This was one thing where I thought it made sense that Drew McIntyre would win back the title, but I would love to see Bobby Lashley keep it. And Bobby Lashley won. I was so excited to see this. I'm just very happy that happened. I was hoping they would push Bobby a little bit more and not just have him be a transition champion. So really excited about that. Next, we had a questionable match. A lot of people are saying that this is one of the worst matches they've ever seen in their lives. The Women's Tag Team Championship #1 contenders match. We had Lana and Naomi versus Billie Kay and Carmella versus Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan versus Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose, and the last team was Natalya and Tamina. Yeah. This wasn't very good of a match. I'm just going to be honest. But I think all the hate people are giving it right off the bat is kind of unneeded. They were saying that it was one of the worst matches they've ever seen. I don't know about that. I thought there were some entertaining moments in it. This was the match where we had at this point it is infamous that Mandy Rose slip on the entrance ramp, which was bound to happen to someone, and I really thought she wouldn't be the last, but unfortunately she was the last. She was the last one to do that, which is unfortunate, but she took it like a champ, and it was funny. So yeah, we'll just cut this short because this was a pretty awful match, but it wasn't that bad. Tamina hit a Superfly splash to get the win, which was very nice. She threw up the Superfly hands. This is just a good feel good moment here for Natalya and Tamina. And this was #1 contender for night 2. So they would be facing Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax on night 2 here. Next, we've got Cesaro versus Seth Rollins, which this this match was this will go up there with Walter versus Tommaso Ciampa. This was an absolute just banger of a match. I just enjoyed the hell out of this match. Seth Rollins hit a corkscrew splash off the top rope at one point, which popped the hell out of me. Cesaro, I think, swung him like 23 times because it was like one more than the 22 that he swung him on SmackDown. Just a great match. I enjoyed the hell out of this. I might go back and watch it again, but this will definitely, I think, go down as the best match of all of WrestleMania, in my opinion. Yeah, great match. Next, we had the New Day versus AJ Styles and Omos, I think is his name. I think that's how you say it. This was good. I did not expect this match to be very good. I was a little upset that AJ Styles was in a tag team match on WrestleMania with his bodyguard. Nothing against Omos. I think that's actually how you say it, is Omos. But I was like, man, AJ Styles could be doing a lot more here. But this was freaking awesome. They teased Omos on the apron forever. AJ Styles could not get a tag on him for a long time. And New Day were really just doing a good job at making AJ Styles fight for his tag. And then finally he tagged in this just gargantuan of a man, and from then on it was just he just destroyed the New Day. And it was weird because AJ Styles and Omos are heels here, and the crowd was more excited to see him almost get into the match than anything. They were more excited for the big heel to get in than anything, which is, it's a WrestleMania thing, and they're usually cheering for the heels, but it was just funny to see that. AJ Styles and Omos won. They win the titles here, which is really cool to see. Way to kind of show that Omos is a force to be reckoned with. They can't have him lose like that. I mean, he's too big, and then they have AJ Styles. I mean, that's a pretty strong combination. Next, we had Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman in the steel cage match. Weird storyline. Just basically Shane McMahon coming out and saying, hey, you're stupid, and Braun Strowman getting mad and just, getting mad and wanting a match at WrestleMania. So I think this was a excuse for Shane McMahon to jump off something high, which, he does all the time. Well, not all the time anymore, but he used to do all the time, but now he just does it once a year at WrestleMania or whatever pay-per-view he's wrestling at. Close to the end of the match, he got thrown off the top of the steel cage into the ring, just did a front flip bump onto the mat from like 15 or 16 feet up in the air, which, just an absolute brutal bump. But not a good match. It's a steel cage match. There's not much you can do, unless you are two technical, like, great athletes. I mean, you got Braun Strowman and Shane McMahon, which are just like basically brawlers. So it was an okay steel cage match. Braun Strowman obviously winning. That's the point. So Shane can't get in the way or get out. Next, we have another one of these cringe moments. The Miz and Morrison. This is the specific cringe moment. Their entrance with their song that they have, whatever it is, Bunny Hop Hop. This is the worst thing I've ever seen or heard in my life, and I cannot believe that they put this on at WrestleMania. I am very happy that Damian Priest and Bad Bunny did as well as they did, especially Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny is officially a WWE superstar. That was I said this before, but now there's a lot of like superstars saying this, that Bad Bunny is probably the best celebrity wrestling, like celebrity that's came in and wrestled in history. There's not been very many that have done as good as he did, and he really put it all out on the floor. He was getting trained by Adam Pearce and Drew Gulak since February for this. 2 months seems like a long time, but to wrestle and look like he did in the ring, that's really, really impressive. And I'm really happy that happened, because it totally washed the entrance of Miz and Morrison, so people can kind of forget about that. But I didn't, and I know some people that didn't either. It was probably the worst thing I've ever seen. But yeah, crazy good match though. Bad Bunny hit a Canadian Destroyer on the side of the ring, and I was just, everything he did I popped for, because it just looked amazing. There's like an arm drag that he hit that looked great. It's just the entire match he did. He looked natural. He looked like he was supposed to be there, and it's really hard to do that. So hats off to Bad Bunny, and hats off to WWE for even doing it in the first place. So next we've got the main event for night 1 of WrestleMania 37, Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This was a great match. Excuse me. Like I said, something's happening inside me. This is a great match. I was thrilled that this ended up being the main event. Not only that, I just knew Bianca Belair was going to win. She had been, the push that they have been giving her was almost too good to be true. And then they just kept doing it. And then you realize, oh my gosh, they're actually going to put the title on her. And there's the moment at the beginning of this match where they're standing across the ring from each other. They look at each other and they know that they're like, we are main eventing WrestleMania right now. And this is about to be history. It's just such a cool moment. The crowd's there. Everything was perfect. Yeah, it's, this is a match I also recommend going to watch. They put on they did the best they could for this main event, and it was perfect. They put on the best main event for night 1. This match was definitely better than Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley, and that's not taking anything away from their match, but I am definitely glad that they switched it up. Yeah, they had a few small mistakes, but you got to give it up to them. They showed everybody that it is worth having 2 women on as the main event of a show. Especially the show of the year. I mean, it's WrestleMania. So that's night 1. So night 2, I'm just going to come off right away and say night 2 wasn't as good as night 1. I really just I was happy with night 1 and like ecstatic with night 1. And it made me, I think, maybe too excited for night 2, to the point where when certain things happened that I'll be getting into right now. But yeah, it was just kind of weird to have night 1 felt more like night 2 than night 2 felt like. I feel like if they would have switched it around, it would have felt better. But we've got match number 1, Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. This was a good match. I definitely enjoyed this. To see Rhea Ripley also win the Raw Women's Championship is it's just such a crazy moment for wrestling. You got Rhea Ripley, who just came up from NXT. Bianca Belair, who's been on the main roster for about a year, maybe a little bit longer now, from NXT. And then you've got Raquel Gonzalez winning the NXT title. It's like everything is moving in the right direction, it seems like, for WWE and NXT. Um, and it's just so nice. I'm very happy to see how wrestling is. And it's gonna, if they keep doing this, it's gonna draw in so many fans, and the right fans that are gonna stay. So we had Rhea Ripley defeating Asuka. Great match. Um, I think this was a I think they tried to send a clear message to the fans here that Rhea Ripley is definitely a force to be reckoned with, and that she's not just some random chick here. I mean, Asuka was undefeated at one point. Nobody could beat Asuka. The first person to beat Asuka was Charlotte, I'm pretty sure. Charlotte Flair was the first person. She hasn't been beaten one-on-one very many times in general. So for her to be here for the title is a bigger deal than I think people realize, as far as like storyline goes and Asuka's history. But yeah, another thing is Rhea Ripley a face or a heel? She seems like a heel, but sometimes she walks around like a face. Not sure. It's okay. I mean, I'm not complaining like a complete mark, but I mean, it's kind of strange what WWE is doing. I don't know if they're trying to kind of cater towards the more AEW type crowd where they don't really care for heels and faces and that sort of thing, or what, but I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too far into it. Next, we had the Intercontinental Championship being defended against Apollo Crews, Big E, the champion. This was what was this match called again? Did they even have the name of the match here? I don't even know if I don't even think I wrote it down. It was like the Nigerian. I'm dumb. Yeah, whatever the match was called. It was some preposterous name. Um, but it was basically just like a hardcore match that was catered towards Apollo Crews and his new gimmick. Um, this was a good match. They went back and forth, very powerful, both of them. And this ended with Dabba-Kato, which I think I went to the bathroom and I came back to see Dabba-Kato in the ring with with uh um with Apollo Crews. And I'm like, what the hell? That's Dabba-Kato. And then everyone goes, oh, we were just asking who the hell that guy was. But yeah, he was on Raw Underground, and he's been in the Performance Center for a long time. So it's nice to see him finally doing something. But yeah, Apollo Crews becomes the Intercontinental Champion here. This was not something that I expected. But it does make sense. I do understand what they're doing here. They've had Apollo Crews wrestle Big E several times at this point for the title, and he hasn't been able to do it. And finally, he has. So, good direction they're going there, I think. Next, we had Sheamus versus Riddle. Another title change here. Sheamus defeating Riddle for the title, and I've read now that apparently Keith Lee was supposed to be the original United States champion when Riddle picked it up off of Bobby Lashley. And then Keith Lee had to, I think, go quarantine. So we've got Sheamus defeating Riddle, who was the the transition champion. Good champion. I enjoyed Riddle's run. If this is the end of his run, good run. I enjoyed it. I always liked Matt Riddle, and yeah, that was a good. I'm glad that he got the title there. But yeah, Sheamus wins. I don't remember the last time Sheamus had a title, so this is yeah, I'm happy with it. I will I will be very interested to see if this is an ongoing storyline between these two, because they did start this like 2 weeks before WrestleMania, so they could keep this going here and possibly have Riddle pick up the title again, or maybe Keith Lee will come in and maybe he'll make his return to possibly challenge Sheamus, and then they could just throw in the Bro to make it a triple threat, just to make the title change to Keith Lee more believable. That way they can go on with that storyline that they had to drop, unfortunately. So next we had Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, accompanied by Logan Paul. Very interesting cameo here by Logan Paul for this storyline. I wasn't as unhappy with it as I expected to be. I thought there was going to be a lot of cringe here with Logan Paul, but he did his job, and I don't think he overdid it too much. He took a stunner from Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. It was an awkward stunner, I will say that. There were some people that were a little upset with the way that he took it, but I thought it was okay. I thought he didn't do the typical spring backwards that you see The Rock and many others do. Scott Hall, but he just kind of rolled forward on it, which it kind of looked believable. But yeah, I understand why people thought it was a weird stunner, but very pleasing to see him get stunned nonetheless. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. This was a good match. Kevin Owens does win. They hit all their moves that they normally hit against each other, which is not a bad thing. I love seeing like Zayn hit a Michinoku driver or Blue Thunder bomb or Haluva kick, and then Owens doing his power bombs, stunners, neck breakers. He teased the package pile driver once, which, God, I wish that they would just let him do it, for God's sakes. Just let him do a package pile driver. That would have made this match much better. I wish this match was better. I wish it was a little bit longer, and maybe they can keep this storyline going. Maybe they can have like a no holds barred or a falls count anywhere, where they are it's more of their past style of matches that are known. Then we've got let's see here. Where are we at? Oh, I just realized that I skipped the actual first match. The actual first match of night 2 is Bray Wyatt, The Fiend, versus Randy Orton, which I was really happy that this was the first match, because this is the only place this match needed to be, was the first. They did the red light thing again, and The Fiend came back with like his regular mask and his outfit, just a different jacket, which I thought was kind of weird. Like, the dude just showed up in like all burned attire, and now he's just back regular looking. Alexa Bliss kind of makes her introduction. She introduces The Fiend, and then comes back out at the end of the match to distract The Fiend to cost him the match. This is very interesting where they're going with this. I don't understand. I don't know if maybe The Fiend is his real guide is Alexa Bliss, and she maybe is the real Fiend or of some sort, or maybe. I don't know how this is going to work. I don't know if I want to know how it's going to work, but next we've got the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, and that is Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defeating Natalya and Tamina. This is similar to my Bronson Reed issue. Why have Natalya and Tamina go through all of those other competitors just to have them go to another night, basically have a tournament match, then go to the next night and just to have them lose. I thought that was kind of foolish, and I don't like Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler having the titles anymore. So just drop them already. Give them to somebody else. And I really wish it would have been Italian Tamina, because they definitely deserve it. So these this last match is an interesting one as well. Roman Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan for the Universal Championship. It was a great match. I will give it that. I thought it was a tremendous match. All right. I just realized that my 30-minute recording mark was up, and I seriously thought that I just forgot to record the last 30 minutes of what I said, and I was a little let down with myself, to say the least. So, to get back to what I was saying about Edge, Daniel Bryan, and Roman Reigns. This was a good match. I enjoyed it. I did. But this is supposedly Daniel Bryan's last run, right? His contract could run out in a couple weeks or days. I don't really know. I know it was sometime after WrestleMania that his contract would run out. I know Edge has more matches on his contract. But they still had Roman retain. And I also because people will give me the argument, well, they have so much money that's been they've dropped so much money into Roman Reigns. I mean, that's why they're doing it. And I get that. I totally understand. But they could give Daniel Bryan his ride into the sunset, his send off, you could say. They could have given him the title. Or they could have dropped the title to Edge. And then next pay-per-view, they had Roman regain the title. We could have done that. I guess it's just me really wanting to see Daniel Bryan or Edge win a title again. Which I get not everybody wants to see, and not everybody can get that. But I would have liked to see it. It was a good match, though. I did very much so enjoy it. I'm not going to lie. So, yeah, good match. Roman Reigns looked really strong. He does look believable. I like that he's heel. I like that he's a bad guy now. This has been a thing. Basically, we've been clamoring for years as Roman Reigns just to turn heel, because he's so just cringe and not funny as a face, and that's what they try to make him do. They try to just make him say funny, stupid shit all the time. So, yeah, but good pay-per-views just in general. I highly enjoyed night 1 of WrestleMania more than night 2. And I think I enjoyed night 1 of WrestleMania more than I enjoyed night 1 or night 2 of Stand and Deliver. Just the two biggest things for me were fans. Having all those fans at Raymond James Stadium was just insane. And then having Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks on his main event, and Bianca Belair winning the title, is just tremendous. That's probably why I would put that as my top night of WrestleMania week/weekend. But yeah, the Walter Tommaso Ciampa match, though, is definitely the best match of the week/weekend. That's for sure. Followed by Cesaro and Seth Rollins. Highly suggest going to watch those. And I really suggest going to watch any Walter match, because that's just going to blow your mind. So, yeah, that's the review. We, as usual, going to hit you with the outro. So here we go. As always, thank you so much for tuning in to the WWC podcast. And also, as usual, send your topics and questions in. I know I've been gone for a while, but I want to know what you guys want to hear. I want to talk about what you guys want to hear. It is not all about me here. I know that I am the one talking into the microphone, but you guys also have a voice. Let me know. Like I said, let me know what you want to hear. I know my mom wants me to talk about Mick Foley and Ultimate Warrior and stuff like that. So maybe we'll just have to do that. Maybe we'll just have to get right into it. I want to make an episode with, or that has to do with the Great Muta. That would be awesome to me. Mr. Perfect, those type of guys. I think that would be super fun. To get me your topics and questions, Twitter, Monarchithias, MONNORCATHIAS, or we are the WWC, also on Twitter, or the YouTube page. You can comment down underneath your video on the YouTube pages, or on the YouTube videos, and let me know what you want to hear there. I'm going to be paying attention to those. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and share. But yeah, I hope to be getting more of like a webcam podcast. I got a camera. I think it'd be cool to be maybe do something mainly on YouTube. Get some video in there. But yeah, as usual, thank you so much. I hope to hear from you guys, and I will talk to you next time.